assistance so that they get early treatment. So these are the things that we need to do. And again, our primary healthcare system, which is the bedrock of our health system, has a lot of work to do. And this is opportunity for us to strengthen the primary healthcare system in Nigeria. Because when it comes to primary healthcare, we talk about community participation. The community takes ownership of their own action, of their own health. So whatever action they take, they will be able to be accountable for it, and then we want to ensure that they take the right action. Once the community themselves are quite aware of what to do, the right thing to do, then I don't think we should worry much. Another set of another sector we should also look into is the people working in hotels, the hoteliers, because when foreigners come into the country, most times they go straight to the hotel. We were lucky when Pretoria came into Nigeria. He was ill, so he went straight to the hospital, and that was why he can easily be diagnosed and right measures were put in place. But if you are gone into the hotel, you can imagine what would have gone wrong before he is eventually diagnosed.
Dr. Disu, I really want to appreciate your comments. You've answered quite a lot of questions with the long commentary you've made on fighting the Ebola virus disease and making sure that we keep it at bay from the country. Really appreciate your comments on the topic. Dr. Disu Oyewoga joined us on The World Today. He is the PRO, Society for Public Health Professionals of Nigeria. He's also chairman of the Lagos State chapter of Association of Medical Officers of Nigeria in Nigeria. And while the Ebola virus disease ravages Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, the rest of the world remains at risk of contracting the virus, or as the Liberian president put it in her letter to the world on Sunday, nations have a stake in the fight against Ebola. $400 million has been contributed to aid countries fight the disease, but medical charity Médecins Sans Frontières says it's not enough. UN Secretary General Mr. Ban Ki-moon has urged nations to contribute to the $1 billion pledge fund that he established a couple of weeks ago after he revealed that only a meager sum of $100,000 has been released so far. When we come back after the break on The World Today, First Ladies meeting in Johannesburg, South Africa. We have more on that. Please join us again. Welcome back to The World Today. It's time for stock taking for African First Ladies as they converged on the South African capital for the third consecutive bureau meeting of the grouping. Funding, relief materials and strategic partnerships were at the center of discussions held, and the president of the group, Nigeria's First Lady, made a point for a need to undertake a mission to Guinea, Liberia and Sierra Leone. Those are countries ravaged by the Ebola virus disease. Our correspondent in South Africa, Betty Dibia, was there and now reports.
The president of the African First Ladies Peace Mission, Dame Patience Jonathan, and some of her deputies representing the regions of the continent. The First Ladies acknowledged the positive trends on the democratic and economic front on the continent, but admitted they are under no illusions about the negative impact of the fragile security situation in many African countries today, among other challenges.
As if the challenges were not enough, recently came Ebola, which is rampaging part of Central and Western Africa, with very high costs in terms of human lives and economic losses. Indeed, there is no better time for us to come together than now to defeat the challenges.
After the closed-door session, the third Executive Bureau meeting ended with a to-do list of how to stay on course.
It is also our belief that we should continue to align our programs with regional and continental programs so as to achieve good results.
Our mission made presentation in front of food and material items to victims of conflicts in 3 countries, namely Guinea-Bissau, Central African Republic, and Nigeria. And I'm therefore willing to bring to your attention the need to undertake a mission to Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, currently confronting the challenge of the Ebola virus pandemic.
The First Ladies condemned the growing insecurity on the continent. They also highlighted the importance for them to partner with similar organizations in order to make greater impact. On the side, Nigeria pledged to contribute towards the maintenance of the temporary secretariat of the body while they push ahead with their plans and aspirations. But keeping plans and aspirations afloat requires funding, and sustainable funding options is still a problem the First Ladies Peace Mission is still grappling with. The Full House 8th Summit of the First Ladies Peace Mission will be hosted by Nigeria in July 2015. From the Union Buildings in Pretoria, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
So now beyond the continent, Turkey's Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu has announced the country will be allowing Iraqi Kurdish fighters across the border to Syria. The announcement came shortly after the US-led coalition dropped off weapons to Kurdish fighters in Kobani. The US Central Command later confirmed that 6 strikes near Kobani had been dropped on Sunday and on Monday. The town has been quiet for a second day running as Kurdish fighters have driven the ISIS militants from the town. Now, Turkey, faced with a long insurgency by its own Kurds, have up until now barred access for Kurdish fighters to Syria. The government in Ankara fought a decades-long conflict with the PKK, which it brands as a terrorist organization. The PKK campaigns for greater autonomy in Turkey and has links with the Syrian Kurds defending Kobani. Meanwhile, militants against the northern Syrian city of Kobani have caused hundreds of thousands of residents to flee to Turkey. Now, they receive help from Turkish authorities and individuals, but say much more is needed. The VOA's Scott Bob reports from the town of Suruc.
In southeast Turkey happens to be one of the main camps still welcoming refugees fleeing the fighting in Syria. There are more refugees the camp can handle. Basic needs have become major, and Turkey and the international community have been said to be going all out to provide support to tackle the recent influx of refugees. UN humanitarian chief Valerie Amos toured the camp recently, listening to the plight of distressed refugees.
We do apologize about that. That's it on the world today. We'll have more on this on the next show. Thank you for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani.